A room full of 100 people will give you 100 different personalities. That's a lot, isn't it? Now what would usually happen is that you may stick to 1 or 2 people who you may feel comfortable with, and chances are you may already know these people. Then there are those people who are naturally charming and can command the attention of at least half the room at any given time and doesn't seem to have any problem meeting new people. These people who exude charm and affability are people who have mastered the psychological manipulation, whether they know it or not. Now, don't be turned off by the term psychological manipulation. We didn't mean you need to turn on your inner Hannibal Lecter. This just means you can use verbal and non-verbal cues that could psychologically trigger a positive reaction from people around you. We have 35 facts, and using at least 10 of them in your everyday life would make things easier. Pump yourself up first thing in the morning by sitting up as soon as you wake and then pump a fist or 2 in the air. Yell, yeah. It sets the mood early on for the day. This has been a good hack for people who don't consider themselves a morning person. To keep people from bumping against you when walking through a crowd, keep your gaze on the gaps between people rather than looking at them. This will make you look like you are walking with a purpose and have very important things to attend to immediately. People will start parting or move to the sides to let you through. Although use this to a minimum, as doing this every single day and every time at work may make you look totally aloof. Natural eye contact is something that people unconsciously value. Too much eye contact will make someone uncomfortable and may seem forced. Too little may make you seem uninterested or secretive. To strike the correct balance, especially when meeting a person for the first time, take note of the color of their eyes. While you are doing this, you are striking an optimum amount of eye contact and will make you seem confident but friendly. Remember, just take note, you don't want to lose focus on what they are saying while they talk. A lot of people now say that they are bad with names. It has become a common excuse, but really, how many Dories from Finding Nemo do we have in our population? To seem genuine and not come across as arrogant, try getting into the habit of using the person's name as soon as they introduce themselves. Don't stop there, use it at least 3 times more and during the natural flow of conversation, and you will be sure to remember it. Next time you meet, you will appear charming as soon as you greet them with their name. To make a lasting impression, strike with your best upon meeting or parting with someone. People often remember the first and last thing they saw or heard. Everything in between usually becomes a blur. This also comes in handy with interviews or presentations. If you can, try to go first or last. A firm and warm handshake leaves an impression of confidence and authority. It also makes you more desirable and trustworthy. No one wants to shake cold and wet hands, and a limp handshake may make you seem weak and a pushover. We have even heard of some people who would rush to the bathroom minutes before an important meeting to wash their hands in warm water. You may have heard of mirroring. If not, have you seen a couple who is very compatible? You will notice that even their movements are pretty much in sync with each other. This is called mirroring, and it is a sign of trust, interest, comfortability. You can subtly watch the other person's movement and mimic it naturally to seem like it just happened. For example, if someone leans in during a conversation, do not lean away. Try to lean in too. Touching a person appropriately creates an emotional and physical bond. Patting their shoulders, knees, or backs is a simple gesture with a big effect. Make sure to do this only when a person is actually comfortable with it. You do not want to set off one person in a panic or anxiety if they obviously do not want to be touched. You don't have to do what people want for them to be pleased with you, but you can validate them even if you two do not share the same sentiments. All you need to do is rephrase what they have told you in your own words. This will show them that you have indeed been listening to them and that you have understood. People like it when other people are interested in what they have to say. No matter what anyone tells you, self-image is important to a person. By observing them, you will find out what they value and how they like to think of themselves. Once you have it down, you may use it to your advantage. Whenever you need something done, try phrasing it as asking for a favor or request. Do not come out with a command. You may also slap it with a hidden compliment. For example, you can phrase it like, "I need your help with blah blah. Can you help me out, because I think you are the only one who is trustworthy enough to handle a delicate matter. See what we did there? You unconsciously built up their ego, and you also made them think they have a choice instead of bombarding them with pressure. Have you ever heard of the door-in-the-face method? When asking for a favor, make it larger than what you actually need. It may always be turned down, but the beauty here is that you can lower the request and they will be bound to accept, thinking that they got a better deal. There is this thing that we call the Benjamin Franklin effect. Once you have mastered the art of asking a favor, people will start saying yes to you. And because you phrased it in a nice way, they'll start to think that they did it because they like you. Finally, the greatest effect here is that it trains their brain to take on more favors from you the next time. Don't abuse it, though. If you are aiming for a positive response, try to be animated when you talk. Nodding your head while you talk will most likely make people nod along with you. Remember the term mirroring? And once they nod along with you, their brain is already processing an approval. Stop using the words "I think" and "I believe" when you want to be persuasive. If you want to check if someone is paying attention to what you are saying, try folding your arms. Usually, people who listen will mimic you. This is a trick to keep you in check when you get carried away talking about a topic. People can easily be swayed by emotion. This is why appealing to emotion is considered a fallacy in any formal debate. But since we don't exist to debate, you can get people interested even in boring topics just by evoking emotions such as excitement, laughter, intrigue, and sympathy. If you want to build up intrigue in your conversations, you don't always need some juicy gossip. You can just pace your speech and watch your tone and inflection. Try pausing every now and then to put weight in your words instead of speaking too fast. Do not speak in a monotone. You are not some heartless robot fed with data. Try to paint a picture in their minds by adding details that you know would interest them, such as the color of the woman's eyes, how the song made you feel, or how unbelievably cold the weather was in the north. If you want to know who are close with each other or sleeping together in a group of people, look for the people who will glance at each other whenever everyone breaks into laughter. This is their way of privately sharing a moment even when they are with other people. If you want to meet with a person, sound excited whenever you call them or when you answer their call. People want to spend more time with people who like them. Taking your date to an extreme activity such as riding roller coaster, watching a really good horror film, or wall climbing, will trigger the release of adrenaline in their system. They may think that the date went well because it was unconventional and fun, thus them thinking you are a fun person. In reality, you just tricked their mind into arousal. The type of music you listen to affects the way you perceive the world and how you act towards the world. Make sure not to listen to melancholic or heartbreak songs just before an interview or a job appraisal. Adjust your music according to the needs of the day. People would usually like to spend more money on people who are less successful than them. This is alright and fine, but did you know that if you start spending more money on friends who are more successful than you, they will begin to tell you all their secrets to success? At least more than half of the population suffers from the phantom vibration syndrome, wherein they think that their phone is vibrating even when it is not. During very important moments that could make or break something important, try to keep your phone away from you. You may place it inside your bag instead of your pockets. Keep thanking people even for the little things they do. If you haven't been doing it before, it will surprise people. Being perceived as someone grateful will unconsciously make people want to do more things for you the next time. Having a dog with you will make you more confident when approaching people who you think are out of your league. The sight of water has a calming effect on people. It will make them happier, lighter, and even creative. Unless, of course, you have a phobia. Instead of announcing your plans, which is more likely to not happen once you have vocalized it, try the interrogative self-talk approach. Asking yourself if you will be able to do it today is more empowering and motivating. You will start to challenge your own self to achieve it. The easiest way to master a new thing is to teach or talk about them. The earlier that you repeat a thing to another, the easier it gets the next time. Having no friends can put your health at risk. There is a link between loneliness and the decreased levels of blood clotting proteins that would help your body recover from wounds and prevent heart attacks and strokes. It will be easier to memorize or remember larger quantities of information if you chunk them together. You may or may not have a system to go about it, but memorizing them one by one is the least effective method. Take this for example. HQTPYJK is a lot easier to memorize than HQTPYJKYOMBAR. You can still memorize the second series by thinking "Hey cutie pie, just kidding, you me bar." Try sitting next to someone who hates you. This will make them uncomfortable enough that they will be less likely to be bold about targeting you. It is always much easier to focus your steam on someone who is at a distance from you. Whenever someone mocks you, give them a blank stare long enough to unsettle them. They will be confused as to why their insults did not have any effect on you, and people just hate unnatural silence. To unsettle someone you don't like, try looking at their forehead and scrunching your eyebrows while they are talking. This will automatically make them there is something wrong with them. People do not want to see themselves as the bad guy. Work this to your advantage when there is a mirror around. Stand in front of it with your back to the mirror. Anyone who wants to chew you out will either tone it down or drop the argument once they catch a glimpse of themselves in the mirror. That's it for the 35 psychological facts that will change your life once you start utilizing them. So what are you waiting for? Start bagging job offers and date proposals with these tips. Share these with your favorite people. If you have tips of your own, we would love to hear about them. Tell us stories about the time you used a psychological fact to your advantage by commenting down below.